Would like to give a floor to Speaker Thomas Mazejian. It is a Caucasus, a pathway to global connectivity for Central Asia. Please, it's your turn, Mr. Thomas Mazejian.
Good morning. How are you? So it's my first time to Kyrgyzstan, and it's my first event at the CAPIF. So I'm learning a lot from you guys. And today I'm gonna talk about the possibility of having another route through Armenia, interconnection, transit through Armenia, reaching to Europe. A bit about me. I'm one of the principal consultants of Wireless 2020. Wireless 2020 is a US-based company having a global network of consultants, telecom consultants, and I'm responsible for the Asian and the Middle Eastern markets. Before joining Wireless 2020, I was the Chief Information Officer of Viva MTS for 17 long years. So even before that, my journey with the internet started in the 90s, effectively in 1994, when I first had my email. And that was fantastic. And that from that point on, my journey started. And in 1999, I started a software company in Lebanon, which I'm originally from, developing billing and CRM systems for internet service providers. But if you remember, those days were the dial-up networks and the ADSL, which were very, very slow. And when we reached the 28.8 kilobits per second, that was pretty fast at the time. Okay, so as I said, we are living in a digital connectivity economy. It's all about digital connectivity. And the Republic of Armenia is at a strategic crossroads with potential to serve the Central Asian market. So this presentation, I will be exploring the technical feasibilities, the geopolitical implications, and economic benefits of developing a fiber optic network via Armenia. A bit about Wireless 2020. As I said, it's a global company having consultants like minimum 20 years and plus, and specializing in business case development, in preparing and development strategies for tech marketing and partnership and spectrum and so on and so forth. And in fact, Wireless 2020 has won many different awards in the States. And they do have also some products which were developed for the telecom market. Specifically, it's a business case analysis tool. So I'm sure whoever is working for the mobile operators, you have always faced this issue. Do you have a business case to deploy 5G? Do you have a business case to expand the 4G network? So do you have a business case to expand the 3G network? I'm not even mentioning about the 2G, which is totally obsolete. So, and this is a big problem for many different mobile operators, and this tool will, you'll just input all the parameters, like probably like 40, 50 different parameters, and the tool will actually say, and if there is a business case. So in how many years you're gonna see the return on investment. And coming from the telecom background, this is a very valuable tool because, you know, the technical people, they want to always expand the network, while the marketing, they are very cautious, and the finance people, they always want to see the money. Where is the money? They really don't care about the network, right? And another tool which is developed by Wireless 2020 is about fiber optic networks. And this is a valuable tool if you want to find all those areas that they are not served yet. And based on geospatial data, will actually calculate and provide you all the lists and how much cost it will take if you want to expand the network. I'm talking about the fixed network. So going back to the digital connectivity, I'm sure that everyone will agree that digital connectivity is the backbone of nations. I don't think anyone will disagree saying that, well, you know, we don't need digital connectivity. It's not that important. It's just the service that we're providing. But I mean, that might be the case about 30 years ago, yes, but not nowadays. It is all about connecting everything together. It's starting from the mobile phones, computers, Internet of Things. So, and it is becoming one of the necessities if you want to survive in the 21st century. I cannot imagine any nation not having such a strategy of call it digital connectivity, call it digital transformation. Nowadays, you see so many companies, so many countries even, everyone is talking about digital transformation. But you know, the people that I have interacted with, only 5%, they know where they want to go. The remaining 95%, they want to go, but they do not see the destination. So why it is crucial? I already mentioned it's about economic growth, because having connectivity, it's all about innovation, having e-commerce, boosting the economic growth and job creation, obviously. Another crucial point is education and healthcare. And I'm sure that everyone has gone through an online course and even probably did some exams, certifications online, which was probably before the COVID, that was not the case. Because I remember when we had to go to trainings on site and no one wanted to take a training online, but not anymore. Now it's becoming more and more acceptable. Government efficiency. Well, the governments all around the world, they do have some sort of strategies and they stand at the different levels, starting from having, let's say, a renewal of the passports, the IDs, starting from the enrollment centers and to the processing of passports, and then any kind of governmental services. This is becoming a must to have. Global competitiveness. The more you have connectivity, the better the chances are for that country to attract investments. And this has been proven a lot. So one case could be the United Arab Emirates. I mean, they have very good connectivity. In fact, one of the best in the world. And this is at least one of the reasons they can attract so many different foreign investments. Social inclusion. I mean, social inclusion is, again, one of the crucial points of digital connectivity. It's in order to empower marginalized communities and bridging the digital divide. There are so many people in the world, they are marginalized for many different reasons. So having digital connectivity, this can improve the situation. And of course, crisis management. So as my colleague Nichal in the morning mentioned, it's all about having different plans, resilient networks. The more you have interconnection points, the more you have peers, the more resilient the network will become. So I got this map from the ITU. It's the fiber optic map, which shows the Central Asia, the Middle East, and the Europe. So as you can see, there are many, many different optical cables going from the Central Asian countries to Iran, to Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey, and going to Georgia, to the Black Sea, and reaching Europe. So what I am proposing is that obviously the interconnection is there. What I'm proposing is, why not having an alternate route, additional route through Armenia? So it's basically, this is Armenia at the larger scale. So my proposal is, you can have, starting from the Central Asia, going through Iran, going to Armenia, going to Georgia, through the Black Sea and then reaching Europe. So this is what I'm trying to promote. And why? So first of all, the technical feasibilities. Armenia has a very widespread fiber optic network. And in fact, the deployment of the fiber optic network started back in the 2010, and which was used and utilized for its internal traffic and to interconnect Iran to Europe, as I said, via Georgia and Black Sea. The second point is related to the bandwidth capacity. Armenia has enough bandwidth capacity in order to utilize, to have additional interconnection points. I already mentioned about the Armenia-Iran fiber optic link, which is serving for many years now. And another one important point, a technical point, is related to the data centers. Just recently, Armenia has built a data center, tier 3 data center. I could possibly say that it is one of a kind in the region. And this data center is certified to be as per the standards of tier 3. And it is hosting many different services. I will be mentioning them in an upcoming slide. And of course, because of the data center, there is the edge computing, which I think plays a very important role as well, because edge computing is basically you're bringing the content closer to the users. And Armenia hosts so many different edge computing like CDNs, content delivery networks, like the Google Cache, Facebook, Microsoft, TikTok, CDN77, and so on and so forth. So as I mentioned, it is the Ovio data center. It's a tier 3 data center, certified tier 3, hosting 200 racks for colocation. It has the cloud and the G Cloud for public and private cloud solutions based on VMware. It has several thousand CPUs core available with terabytes of storage, enterprise-grade storage, and backup capacities available to a customer. So basically, this could be used as for many different reasons. You can just simply use the CDN network, or you can host some of your applications, like a disaster recovery in the Ovio, in the data center, or you could use it just for a storage or backup purposes. Right. So the possibilities are so many. And of course, the Ovio data center, there are things that I am not allowed to disclose, but obviously they are expanding and they will be hosting so many different other CDNs in the coming future. So I talked briefly about the technical feasibilities, now about the geopolitical implications. You know, Armenia is surrounded by different countries like Georgia, Azerbaijan, Iran, and Turkey. Yeah, historically, there was always and still there is some struggle between Azerbaijan and Turkey. But for the last couple of years, Armenia has adopted a new mindset, which is called the crossroad for peace, or the peace crossroad. Because Armenia understands that the only way to survive and to prosper economically, you need to make peace with your neighbors. And this is work in progress. We're not there yet, but we are going towards that direction. And Armenia is very close to many different key markets, as I said, Russia, Iran, Turkey, and the Middle East. The economic value. Well, Armenia is a very stable environment for investments. There are challenges, as I said, but Armenia has maintained a very stable political and environment, even with the last 2 years after the Russian sanctions. Armenia, there were, in fact, the impact was so many Russian companies moving to Armenia. So from the economic perspective, it made Armenia's economy even stronger. The government support is also a very crucial economic value because the government subsidizes the ICT sector. So it like giving tax exemptions for a couple of years for startups and subsidizing so many different IT-related services. And I could say that the data plans, the internet connection data plans in Armenia is probably one of the cheapest in the world. Also, the cost-effective operations. So in Armenia offers a very cost-effective environment for technology and infrastructure because the operational costs are pretty low. And the last but not least is the skilled workforce. There are so many talents in Armenia, and because of that, Armenia is very well known about its startup hub, and it's growing, and there are even a couple of startups which have become a unicorn, meaning like $1 billion valuation. And this is because there are lots of local talents. So in conclusion, why Armenia? What I already mentioned, it's about why not think of having an alternate routes to Europe. Probably the Central Asian, we already seen in the previous presentation, they do have their interconnection points, but having an additional and alternate route will never do any damage, right? Because it's all about building a resilience, because not a single provider will afford to have to have any kind of outages. Any kind of outages will immediately translate to revenue losses, reputational losses. And you should not afford any such outages, right? And as I said, Armenia stands at a very critical point of opening up to all its neighbors and hosting many different applications in its tier 3 data center. So that's it. So if you have any questions, I'm all ears.
Thank you